All right. Man, we're fixing to, we're going to do something over the next several weeks. It may take me months to do what I want to do. But if y'all are with me, we're going to kind of do like a restoration project on this. What do y'all see? Hunting truck. Okay, empty shell. All right. Ladies, what do y'all see? Potential. Something that needs restored. Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, absolutely. Now, how many of you, and I would say ladies, because my wife's not here to speak for you, how many of y'all would think, if you were to bring that home as my husband, I would leave you? How many of y'all are thinking, you're not going to park this in my yard? Okay, I got a few honesty. My mother's one of them. I mean, my mom hates the fact that Dad has a lawnmower graveyard in the backyard. My mom hates that. So, yeah, in fact, can I get y'all to do it? We don't vote at this church, but can we do it on Sunday mornings just for the heck of it? How many of y'all would be honored to have this like it is parked in your driveway? Anybody say, I would love to have that in my yard. No, I said front driveway. Okay, you'd be proud to have that parked in your yard. All right, how many of you would be like, you know what, I just take it and get the scrap out of it, because they could probably get $200 scrap. Anybody? Got one honest person too. Okay, let's put it like this. How many of you would not have this in your front yard? Raise your hand. Okay, we have a majority, I think, pretty close. How many of you would go, okay, you know, let's keep it in the backyard, not the front yard, but it has that much value. Or we could take it to the recycling center and get $100 for it. Anybody? Anybody? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a lot of money to put into it, but
unless you can do the Fred Flintstone with it.
How I came around.
Because it has no engine.
Right now. So I think.
How many of you see
the first question that I kind of
super galactic off-road awesomeness? Yes. And what do you yeah, me too. And hence the reason why I have this today. Here's what I'm going to need you to do. Okay, I am going to, for the next several weeks, I'm going to explain some of the deepest. Don't take that baby out. No, go ahead. He's yours. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to hopefully explain to you in a way that you can understand some of the deepest truths of Christianity with this cash for clunker flunky. Okay? So if you're willing to open up your mind a little bit, and this is kind of the exercise, you're going to have to be able to go, okay, my soul is this 1963 International Scout. How many of you were alive in 1963? Raise your hand. A very small minority, and you're a liar. You weren't even thought about in 1963. Well, I don't know. So can you do that? Can y'all enter into an imaginative process and see if we can get somewhere with it? I'll do my best to explain some real fundamental truths. And so, yeah, here's a story. I don't need another project. But I love off-road vehicles. I love Jeeps. I love different kind of trucks. And I'm not really mechanically inclined, but I did grow up in a home where we were always greasy, and we always had horrible cars. I mean, I shared the story in first service of going to Six Flags, our one and only family vacation, and the engine blew up in our Fairlane 500. And, you know, that's back when Six Flags was like brand new, I think. I don't know. But anyway, you know, funny stuff. And Dad was always greasy. We always had, you know, beaters and yard cars, you know. So I grew up knowing a little bit about mechanic stuff, and I don't really need another project. But I was flipping through Craigslist, and I like to look on there for used parts and different things because I got a Jeep project going on, and so I'm always looking for a few things here and there. So I see this ad for this International Scout 1963 for $300. And I was like, what?
Other than this spot right here where moms get.
Where am I going to be able to get $300 out of the checking account without my wife knowing? And so I load up, and I'm sure Tina was suspicious. I was like, hey, I'll take Rebecca to dance today. She's like, okay, thanks. And so guy lived in Center Point, so I rode up to Center Point and pull up, and the guy immediately comes outside, and he's like, look, man, if you're going to offer me $100 for this thing, you can go ahead and leave now. And I was like, no, it's all good, man. Just let me look it over. And he's like, all right, well, come on. He's like, well, I'm not selling it for that. It means too much to me. I know I can sell the parts for that. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's all good. So I'm looking it over, and, he can tell that I'm not just going to lowball him or anything. I was like, dude, this is amazing. This is awesome. It's got good body. Body's in pretty solid condition. And the paint job is awesome. And, I really like that. $300, really? And he was like, yeah. He said, but every time somebody calls and they find out it doesn't have an engine, they say they'll come tow it off for me, or they'll give me $50 or $100. And I was like, dude, I will so give you $300 right now. And so I gave him the money, and he was like, well, look, this ain't just all of it. Come with me. And so I walked with him, and he rolled up the door to his garage, and wall to wall are like all these parts. Axles, transmissions, transfer case, engine parts, body parts, windshield, all the rubber that goes around the windshield, different additional body parts. It just went on and on. 2 engines, and one engine was like wrapped up in cellophane, like it had been reworked and yet not put together yet. Do y'all understand that? You take your engine to be worked on, and then you bring it back, and you wrap it up in plastic so it doesn't rust. But anyway, it's been sitting like this for 5 years, and I was like, dude, this goes with it? And he was like, yeah, this goes with it. And of course, I'm thinking, no way. I can sell the part. I can build one and then sell the parts and make money off of this deal. And so, anyway, so I was like, what is the story on this thing, man? Tell me what's the story here. And he said, well, all right. 5 years ago, my son started this project, and he gathered up about 5 or 6 scouts, parted them out, junked the rust and that stuff, and then he kept all the good parts. And he fell at Nakalula Falls and died. 200 feet, broke every bone in his body.
Well, he opens up his garage, and it's like
18 years old, and I'm like, ow. And he said, I just can't let somebody have it for $100. So I was like, wow.
2 engines, one had been rebuilt.
So what's his name? And he said his name was Mike. Okay, now this is creepy. So I said, well, dude, I'll take it. So I've made like 3 trips. I've been going up there when my wife doesn't even know, because I don't want her to know how much crap goes with it. And my garage, I'm like piling. Now I'm like, stacking stuff on top of each other. I got all these parts, and it's like, I have another project that I'm working on, and it's, and I do that. I love working on cars because here's a truth that I have learned. I can fix cars. I can't fix people. For me, I think my battery's kicking out. But it may not. Let's just give it a rest. But I can fix a car. I can't fix people. You know what I mean? Only Jesus can fix people. Only God can do that. And so I kind of gave up on that, because I would get very down and out and feel like crap when somebody that I would invest in would go backwards spiritually or whatever. So anyway, this is where I want to go. I want to talk about what you see. I want to talk about worth today. Okay, and Jesse's kind of already cracked the egg, and let's mix it up and make an omelet. What do you, when you think about what you see, and when you think about the value of this old clunker, and I've already kind of made it more valuable to you by telling you the story and by telling you what all it came with. But if your soul was this old Scout, and we just took a survey on what we should do with this old Scout, how many of you would be glad
We talk about
that
all this
your
a lot
soul
around here.
wasn't left up to popular opinion.
I had no idea.
Anybody? I'm glad that half
value
or more of you would not be able to say, junk it,
financial,
get the cash and run. This
got
has no value whatsoever. And so here's the basic truth. And this is where, in my opinion, this is where following Jesus has to start. You need to try to get a hold on.
Parts and 68 parts, just lots of.
You have no idea what value you have to God. You personally have no idea how valuable you are to God.
I have a better truck than you truck.
And at the same time, you and I are incapable of looking at other people around us and seeing how valuable they are. We're incapable of doing that. Now, we try, and, I consider myself kind of semi-unprejudiced and, semi-progressive, and I try to not judge people by what I see, but I can't help it. And here's the deal. How many of you would say, I don't judge, everybody's equal in my eyes. Anybody want to, just Derek, I'm going to put you down if you do raise your hand, but anybody want to raise your hand anyway? Okay, good. Because here's the thing. You may say, well, I don't judge anybody, but all right, well, take your wife or your husband. If they're of the same value as that guy at the end of the row, why not swap them out? If your kids are of equal value and all the other kids in here, why not swap them out? If your kids are, you see what I'm saying? We already have bias built in. We already have an understanding of value and of worth. We got this built in. And every one of us, if our soul was this Scout, where has this old truck been? I don't know. What has it been through? I don't know. We do know. We have some rust. We've got some holes that are not ventilation holes from the factory. We don't have an engine. We don't have a transmission. Y'all can't see this, but we don't have chairs. I don't have a dash. I've got them, but they're somewhere else. So if I look at it right now, it's been through a lot. And a lot of people in here, you've been through a lot. And if you were to take an inventory of what you've been through, the damage that's been done, the rust in your life, the corrosion, the crap that you've been through, all of that kind of builds an idea of what you're worth in your own mind.
He can be happy with that.
Are you with me so far?
So often and so regularly.
And that's either a good idea or a bad idea.
Is looking at me
and Jesse even mentioned it. Do y'all meet people who think they're so cotton picking good, and it's like, no, you really suck and you can't see it. Do you ever know those people?
There comes a point where it's like,
do you run into them?
My own inner value
they're everywhere.
To drop,
but then at the same time, I do this. I run into people that they're always belittling themselves. I mean, you can see the hatred of themselves in their eyes.
Worth less.
I mean, you can see that life has already told them you are worth less.
Now shift it to
you are crap, and the quicker you can get in the scrap heap, the better. Get out of our way. And you can see those people. I mean, they're everywhere too. And so, here's the point. Okay, here's the point. You and I are incapable of putting real value on any human soul, including our own. And here's where that got started. If you go all the way back to Genesis, early chapters 1, 2, and 3, we have the whole creation of man. And I love this story because we lose touch, and if you go ahead and read some more of Genesis, you'll see it. Here's mankind, and this is hard for me to get in my mind, butt naked,
let's give it a shot. They do it on
walking
TV,
with God.
Trading spouses.
Here's man walking with his wife, and they're butt naked, and nobody's going, whoa! There's nothing like that. And it says that, they would walk with God, and here they were naked, and they were walking together, and neither of them felt any shame. And here's the thing. There wasn't even a concept of worth. There wasn't even a concept of what value do you have, because they were hanging with God every day.